Let's get started with enhanced durability. Another one of the most common powers you will ever come across in media, real world, and any kind of fiction found on this little blue ball. Well, not really a ball, more of a sphere, but users of this power possess a level of durability that is beyond that of a normal member of their species. I think you guys can figure out what I'm going to do next, so I'll just do it again. I am a slave to my whims after all. I have no willpower. Durability, in its simplest of terms, is the ability to withstand wear, pressure, and/or damage. In the same fashion as the other and numerous enhanced bodily powers I've done on this channel, this one is as simple can get, perhaps more so than the others I've done. When we think about durability, just like strength, speed, and flight, or enhanced senses, the concept of durability does come in different forms, such as mental and/or physical. And when compared, they're still pretty dang similar, no matter what angle you decide to look at it from. But that simple concept spreads out into others you wouldn't even consider. Or maybe you have considered it, who knows? Meaning a user with this ability has powers that can range from being able to withstand numerous blows of internal or external assaults before succumbing to the effects, to being able to withstand bullets, grenades, and low to medium grade explosives, survive falling off the top of tall buildings, and/or survive under a building collapse, within reason. But it doesn't stop there, because withstanding extended periods of time without medical aid and/or nourishment, to surviving massive amounts of blood loss because you also survive numerous beatings from superhuman-like entities, also falls within this ability's purview. Even the more subtle ideas shown around this ability range from being able to resist various forms of temptation and/or misdirection through willpower alone, all the way down to the amount of time food or any object is resistant to decomposition and rot, aka shelf life. So in case you guys missed it though, having access to all this knowledge won't do you much good if you can't withstand the assault from the possible flying books and large bits of info. Dodging won't do you much good because that's not the theme of this power. So in order to actually survive the incoming barrage and still retain all the information and your teeth, do the Shay a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Maybe I can sorta, kinda, possibly not guarantee your safety, but I appreciate your support anyway. But if all that word salad sounded kind of fishy to you and you don't quite trust me yet, then at least hit that share button so that I can share in some of that thick skin that you got, because words hurt too. If you're just here for the applications, uses, and users for this power, then skip ahead to this time. But if you got your callus-covered hands filed down and ready to grab that lotion, then let's get started. Okay, that's not what I meant at all. The origins of durability kind of find themselves intertwined nearly everywhere, but nowhere as notable as in Greek mythology. You guys know I had to play that card, obviously. The famous mythological hero Achilles is perhaps the most important and one of the oldest characters in creation who embodies this trope or power. As a child, he was dipped into the river Styx and granted invulnerability on every part of his body except where he was held when he was dipped, aka his heel. This made him pretty much one of the world's oldest super soldiers and the embodiment of literal unstoppability, as he used much of his pain and damage resistance to win decisive victories for whoever side he was fighting. I don't know, there's so many versions of that story. But in our modern era, thanks to the study of physics, we've more or less quantified, big word, but yes, quantified an idea of durability that more or less depends on the concept of strength, or at least physical strength, because strength has always been used to validate durability, and that 1-2 combo of strength validating durability is found everywhere, from other scientific fields such as engineering, mechanics, construction, all the way to entertainment. But all in all, the most important thing concerning durability that all can agree on is that durability is defined as the ability of a material to remain serviceable in the surrounding environment during its life in use without damage or wear or tear. Now, it would be better to get this boring part out the way. An individual's physical durability is determined more or less by how long a physical product can remain functional. This means it doesn't require too much maintenance or repair, and while being faced with the challenges of normal operations during its design lifetime, it can still remain functional without any kind of major repair. But oddly enough, enhanced durability as we know it in fiction does exist, although it goes by another name: hysterical strength, aka fight or flight. Massive amounts of adrenaline can give the user a boost in physical stats, normally used to allow one to endure or to escape from any dangerous or uncomfortable situation. This is where we get the saying of they're getting their second wind when doing any kind of physical activity or something like that. And going back to look at durability through the lens of physics, which I love physics, there are a few ways that we can quantify or at least define the concept. This isn't an official list. This is just me using my limited smartiness, so take this with a grain of salt. The first is through an object's toughness, the ability for the material to absorb energy. The second is its stress and or fatigue, which details the endurance of the material under repeated use, aka how much punishment it can take before it shows signs of wear. And lastly, it's shear deformation, which occurs when an object changes shape because forces are applied to it, while still retaining its original mass, aka how pliable something is or how flexible it is. This ability has been portrayed in popular culture so much and so often and so casually that it's one of the stock superpowers that most, if not all, characters are just born with or given to progress the story. The other being strength and speed, and the other enhanced abilities that I've covered, mostly acting more or less like an implied ability. We don't normally know that a character has this ability until it's shown to us. But when I tell you guys that this power can be considered the Seth MacFarlane of superpowers, you shall believeth me that enhanced durability, okay, I'm not gonna do that anymore, has spawned innumerable amounts of offshoot powers, most of them that can't get out of its shadow because they're so freaking similar. Like I said before, a character with this power is going to have abilities that range from being able to withstand bullets, surviving getting thrown through stone, or any other hard material that would shatter or splat us normies, or having an enhanced lung capacity or mental endurance. All those examples place this power in the Charles Atlas category of superpowers, as many forms of media portray this ability as one that anyone can acquire through intense training or physical mastery if you're not lucky enough to be born with the gift, relatively speaking. But the relationship, if you could call it that, between strength and durability isn't one that's too complicated, so I'll make it real easy to explain right here. Both have been viewed since the beginning of time as something to acquire, with us humans assigning the symbolic meanings of health, virility, and superiority to both concepts. But the passive nature of durability gives it a safer feel, so we can add safety to that too. Not only do these two abilities go hand in hand, strength and durability, but the most ironic thing about these two concepts that Shay finds hilarious in a deep poetic way that makes you shed a tear when you think about it, is that these concepts were created to test each other just as much as they were created to support each other. You want an example? Of course you do. Let's picture some kind of dense material and you and Johnny Whack-A-Mole decide to pick it up and swing it, ram it, or I don't know, throw it at the next unfortunate thing you see, you dick. Now, a few things could happen, but in this case, if the thing you hit is more durable than the strength you can output, you're more than likely not going to cause any damage. So, you'll have to increase your strength in order to compensate for the target's durability. But if the dense material that you're wielding isn't strong or durable enough to endure your increase in strength, then you'll have to find a way to make that object more durable, which then brings in the question of strength. You know, is your strength strong enough to make use of this newly increased durability? While a metaphysical example of this scenario can be as tangible as something like, I don't know, strong leaders and strong citizens can make a society last longer, aka more durable, which creates stronger citizens and thus a stronger society. As you can see, if you're doing the metaphorical mental math like I am, these two abilities act like a feedback loop, constantly improving each other. It's kind of an unavoidable cascade effect. I think they have a term for that, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. So now, emerging from that analysis, this ability is and will always be a required secondary power if you want to be able to do anything with super strength or any other harmful ability, because without it, Isaac Newton's third law of motion, equal and opposite reactions, would result in you ruining your hand every time you tried to throw an enhanced punch or run super fast. And every bone and muscle would sprain, snap, tear under the force of lifting anything bigger than you, or whenever you tried to leap tall buildings in a single broken ankle. This power applies to a lot of the superpowered powerhouses and pairs very well with the flying brick type character. And just like the other enhanced powers, there are numerous examples of this power's use, so there's no real common way to portray an ability like this. It can range from a form of cybernetic enhancement to various forms of energy ranging from life to supernatural, elemental enhancement, martial arts conditioning, which plops his power in the Charles Atlas category of superpowers that I said earlier. Shoot, divine intervention or straight up magic or magic systems can even help you increase your durability. You want to get even more simpler than that, I guess. Add the cliche science experiment gone wrong or right to the list as well. Shoot, sometimes it'll be a side effect of a particularly adaptive healing factor. Check that video out, the link is in the description. Okay, that's all kind of cool, isn't it? But what about the concept of mind over matter? Well, if popular culture has anything to go off of, this lets you accomplish the same thing fairly easily, meaning psychics really don't need to go to the gym. So in addition to them, you'll also find most super soldiers, superheroes, alien visitors, and basic to mega monsters with this ability. The unnaturally determined protagonist will normally have this as their main ability turned up to 10 because that's just what fiction does. And that can lead to outside plot and or character development. And obviously the antagonist or the villain of the story will have this ability as a insurmountable wall that the protagonist or the heroes have to climb over or destroy literally in order to win. Users of this power are stereotypically seen to be extremely muscular or well built in some way or another, usually sporting a brave or courageous attitude because of their condition. Being one of the oldest powers in fiction, most users are portrayed as straightforward, maybe not as much as enhanced strength users, but a close runner-up. That aspect can also depend on the level of durability, so have fun with that too. And common colors associated with this power are normally seen to be red or brown. Usually powerful hues that capture the user's attention are normally associated with strong emotions and longevity, so have fun with that too. Now, I want to set the record straight with this and state off top that there are numerous classifications of enhanced durability, and those range from peak human all the way to absolute. We won't be covering those in this video because those are subtabs within the folder of enhanced durability. So, this video will mainly focus on the various applications and versions that this ability has, so this list won't be as impressive as any others, just a heads up. Now, with the power of enhanced durability comes the natural ability to be able to endure stresses beyond the capabilities of a normal member of your species. This simple application can range from giving the user way better physical stamina control or benature to being able to ignore mental fatigue to a greater extent than others via an enhanced endurance. Like stated earlier in the video, this can vary by giving the user skin that's highly resistant to attacks of a piercing nature via bulletproof durability, having the user possess a level of fortitude that allows them to more or less sustain their physical form despite the various increases or decreases in surrounding G-forces via pressure resistance, or they can survive the effects of gravity and inertia itself because with fall damage resistance, you don't need to fear skydiving without a parachute, or jumping off cliffs with no equipment, or being thrown out of an action movie window. And if you perfect those abilities and you pretty much got the outside of your body covered, it's time to get fancy and learn how to conserve energy by self-targeting a specific area of your body and then choose to harden it, which would then give you an added bonus of strengthening in that body part because of the relation between strength and durability and, them being besties for resties. So, with durability concentration, one would be able to achieve that. And since you're doing your internals, why not focus that to strengthen your nerves and pain receptors so that it'll take more than just plain exposure in order for them to register true danger via pain suppression. Okay, that pretty much sums up all the true uses for enhanced durability without getting unfamiliar or into repetition. Now we get to the fun part, the various variations. Ergokinetic durability allows the user to channel various forms of energy ranging from physical and kinetic to light or radioactive based energy, either through themselves or from other sources, and enhance their physical form via absorption, or they can just coat themselves in it to act like a form of armor, usually displaying itself as a form of light. So there's that. While the East has a specific form of the previously mentioned that allows users to generate pure energy from themselves within their own body from their life energy more often than not, and use that alone to enhance themselves via Chi durability. This version can be portrayed humbly and in a more subtle manner by showing toughened skin, usually as a result of martial arts training, or they can go the Western-ish route and take the light show approach, but still share the same theme of life energy. Regenerative durability allows the user to possess enhanced resistance to physical damage and as a result, possess an accelerated healing factor, meaning that the users themselves might not even be superhumanly durable, but because they can heal themselves so fast, it really doesn't matter if they themselves aren't tough because they have the illusion of toughness. While telekinetic durability is more of a psionic or mental in origin and can be explained by using the mind to make the flesh tougher or to prevent the flesh from being harmed in the first place via a barrier or some kind of invisible guard. Elemental durability allows the user to either toughen themselves by mimicking or taking on the properties of sturdier elements like stone or metal, or through a form of elemental intangibility with fluid elements such as air or water or even light. All of the previously mentioned can and will grant the user a form of high resistance, which is just a fancy way to say that whatever is being used against you isn't very effective at what it's trying to do. And there you have it, enhanced durability in a nutshell that shouldn't break because of this power. Pretty standard ability. There isn't much left to say about it because it still has its fair share of weaknesses just like every other power. And because this is a mostly physical power, unless the user has other secondary superpowers that support it, balance, gravity, mass, and Newton's 3 laws of relativity or motion, and the user's own strength might limit them. If their durability has limits, being enhanced versus invulnerable, it can still be overpowered. If the user is mimicking a substance or version of durability and using that to enhance themselves, like with the elemental form of durability, then they could gain power, but also a weakness based on what they copied. Shoot, some powers pride themselves on being able to bypass physical durability, so there's nothing you can do to defend against them, like sound or vibration manipulation. You might also be unable to turn it off, so you're unable to feel the touch of lighter substances. And lastly, the user's own knowledge, skills, and limits will determine how far you go with an ability like this. And now, with all that out of the way, it's time to place this ability on the scale. Enhanced durability is something even more simple than the other enhanced powers, and I'm sure that everyone would want this power in some way, shape, or form. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, the Shey scaling system gives this power a sturdy 8. Thanks for watching. You guys think of any more applications for this power? Jot it down in the comments section. Start a discussion. The index doesn't grow without you. I'll be back with an entirely new power, breakdown, and analysis pretty soon. Deuces.